So again, there's a lot of things. It's good to be an insider right now. It's good to be like a wrestling fan insider guy, like to see all these transactions move back and forth, to see all these moving pieces and know the insides of the business. I mean, because it's fun. It's like free agency in football season.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this is what this is, and it's a shame. And I'll just say this one part: if you are a wrestling fan, you need to let go of your ego. You need to let go of a lot of things that you love about, not necessarily love about this thing, but like the elitism that is attached to independent wrestling and how you view the WWE and how you view these talents. Don't jump the gun on how you already feel about it without it being played out yet.
I definitely, for sure.
Yeah, if you're already going like these guys and this guys, because we could have the conversation about it, but I'm not biting my teeth and waiting for them to be ruined. Who knows how everything's gonna turn out? So before you shit on it or like talk shit about it, just let it play out. And so far, it's been good for all the people that's come over from different promotions. Not the homegrowns, because you take Tyler Breeze, he's a homegrown. Right?
More or less, yeah.
You look at Samoa Joe, he hasn't been fucked up yet. At the beginning, he started off pretty stale, but he's okay now. The Dusty Cup really helped him and Finn Balor. You look at, Kenta, Hideo Itami, injury. That wasn't anything that the WWE did. You look at what happened, what's going on with Sami Zayn, El Generico. He got injured. That was nothing. He was put in a big spot against Cena. So, look at this momentum that's happening right now with a lot of people that are coming from other promotions, and they're actually being done right. Ascension, WWE homegrown. Fuck them.
Connor's hurt, so he broke his jaw. So I think they recognize problems that they have as a company, and they've been trying to work on it. I mean, you see Vince out there. You didn't used to see Vince out there, and I think just a lot of the. I thought this Raw was great, and the numbers show it. It went to 3.8, which it went down to 2. I think it was 2.15 was the lowest, and 2.3. But now it's back at what it used to. Nothing record setting, but back at what it was like at the beginning of last year, the beginning of the year before. So that shows you that they're kind of back to where they have it. Now they just signed all these new guys, and Mania is going to pick up. I see big things going into Mania for the WWE.
I see big things going into SummerSlam more than I say WrestleMania, because dude, we're talking 3 months. They're gonna have to move at a rapid pace. I'm still filling the gaps that are out. No Randy Orton. You know what I'm saying?
No, Orton's coming back. He's for Mania, yeah.
Shoulder surgery, man. He's gonna be out for a long time. It's not like, oh yeah, put some tussin on that shit and he'll be back for Mania.
I thought he was gonna be back for Mania. I didn't.
They opened his ass up. No, I mean
well, no. I'm saying big things. Big things are, like, it's going to be exciting to see. I'm not necessarily saying they're going to get their fan base or anything back. I'm just saying it's going to be exciting to see. This is happening, and then we're going to see these guys start to be on the television.
And if you remember how we started the show, started the Raw. By the way, guys, we started the Raw. We're going to go into Raw right now, Raw San Antonio. One of the things that I said last week, how do you feel about the show? What was my answer?
I don't know.
Indifferent.
You went to bad, indifferent, and
now it's indifferent, very indifferent, because I said, from last week and the week before, I was like, man, I've been indifferent about the past 2 weeks because they're trying something. Now, outside of my love for Roman Reigns, sarcasm, facetiousm, outside my love for Roman Reigns, they're trying something, and I could just see it. Like you said, the coming back of. The dissension of the authority. You see it, like something's going to happen where the authority's going to leave.
Sure.
How they're handling the work rate, the longer matches. And by the way, last week they did split Raw up into 2. They had that's why a lot of the people weren't there. And the matches were definitely longer. They didn't do it this week, but they stuck with the longer matches. And I just go like, okay. Something is going on. And I highly enjoyed it. I went from indifferent, and this week I said, you know what, this was a great show. Cool. This was a really good show. Not a lot of bitching and moaning and complaining this week, y'all, from me.
Hell yeah.
I'm telling you right now.
There was the recap from last week. Steph comes out and within record time gets interrupted interrupted by Roman Reigns. He says it's not about Steph, it's about Vince. He tries to call out Vince, and they kind of have it back and forth a little bit, just like they always do. No big deal with the opening segment.
And she tried to like call out what Vince said to him last week. It's like the way my dad treated Sika is the way my dad treated Sika is the way that I'm going to treat you. And,
yeah, for sure.
And then old boy was like Bully Reigns is like, well, how you had to pick your dad up from jail last week. If he screws me over in this match tonight, he's gonna have to pick his ass up from the hospital.
Yeah, that's an old Terry Funk line. He used to say like, "Oh, which one do you want me to hit you with? Do you want me to send you to the hospital or the graveyard?" So that was cool. And then we go on to our first match: Neville versus Owens, a rematch from last week that happened real quick.
Taped ribs.
Yeah, Dean Ambrose on commentary.
That took away from the match. I like.
You think so?
Yeah, he was overwhelming on the microphone.
Okay. I like this match a lot. Owens does still win with the pop-up powerbomb, but it was a lot more competitive this week. And then Owens attacks Neville, and then Dean comes for the save again.
It was a classic match. The taped ribs. It was like basically, bullseye what Owens was going to attack. You get an awesome 450 splash that actually did him in.
Yep.
Did more damage than it did good. It was off the apron. He did a 450 off the apron. Now, I don't know y'all understand the complexity of a 450 in general. The lower you are, the more difficult. He did it off the second buckle one time. A 450.
He did it off the railing one time.
My God, this guy's insane.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool, but I still don't think. I swear to God, man.
Yeah, I was gonna.
He picks the bones. He tried to pick the bones again, and Owens comes out for the save. But like Neville's not done.
Comes out for the save.
Huh?
Ambrose. And then does his version of the table spot, doing the elbow through the table this week. So maybe a tables match, but definitely I think a match between Owens and Ambrose. He thinks it's going to be a 3-way. We'll have to see.
For the IC belt.
They show Vince in the back.
Yep. By the way, there has to be an IC defense now. I mean, we find out later what's going on, but like there has to be a title defense.
Oh yeah.
It's not going to be the Divas. Maybe it will be both Divas and IC belt, but like
yeah, why wouldn't it be? It's just like every other pay-per-view.
But because what happens at the end?
Yeah, but why would that take away from IC and especially the Divas?
Well, if the belt wasn't normally, there's a title defense at Mania at the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
While there's a Royal Rumble to see who's number one.
But there's also an IC title during that match.
Really?
Yeah, there's always an IC title match.
Who was last year's IC title match?
I mean, no one knows, but there's always an IC title.
There was the 3-way.
Every pay-per-view. I'm gonna say every pay-per-view within the last 3 years have been there's. Come on, man.
Nah, I just the management of the IC belt hasn't been as.
This is the most. You can argue about the management, but there's always the title. There's always.
I don't remember. They must have been bad.
Yeah, exactly. But it's still there. But I think Dean Ambrose and Owens is going to be a good feud. But moving on, Vince in the back says he's going to be the law tonight. He's going to be the ref.
So hot. No brother zone though.
So what?
No brother zone.
For what?
JoJo.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she like them white boys.
Well, hell
you
yeah.
have a chance.
I'll holler.
But he's in the back. He lets them know. He reminds everyone, just like Stephanie says at the beginning, that all charges were dropped from the New York police.
Sure.
And he talks about how he had to deal with the law last week. In this match that he's going to be refereeing, he's going to be the law.
Mm-hmm. Then we go right to the ring. Stardust and Titus O'Neil. No entrances.
They just had to dust that off and be like, okay, let's get it over with, because the backstory is he's been fucking with him back in his dark matter chambers. Yeah, Titus O'Neil.
Real quick match. Titus wins.
Next.
I actually haven't. Kalisto's hurt, and then Darren Young is hurt.
Not Kalisto.
Sorry. Sin Cara's hurt, and Darren Young is hurt. And, you have the Usos kind of battling with the League of Nations. So the New Day, there's nothing really there. Do you think you can make a makeshift team between the last team that beat the New Day with Titus O'Neil and then the team that's... So Kalisto versus O'Neil, do you think that would be not necessarily moving forward, but for one big night to, I can see the storyline, them, these guys getting together to try to get the belts, especially with the depleted roster. I don't know, maybe I'm fantasy booking over here, but I think a week-to-week storyline, that could be something that you can see, the progression of them forming and then going for it.
teaming him up with the Dudleys, though, that's the only problem.
Well, yeah, well, this was a one match, but
Titus and Kalisto.
Just because you have both of them hurt, trying to make
the best out of the situation. Right?
Yeah, because I mean,
no, I say nah. I say Kalisto should not and should turn his attention to being a solo star.
Sure.
I think Sin Cara, for what it's worth, it's time for Kalisto. It's time to sell some masks, man. This guy's been stepping up. He had the breakout moment of the year, the fucking oh my god moment of the year. Let's get some masks selling, baby. Let's get Kalisto versus the Big Show. I've been screaming for that. No, I've been screaming for Neville and the Big Show. But like Neville, whatever, to the side. Let's get Kalisto versus the Big Show. You want to make this guy a star? You make him a fucking star. Selena Del Sol on the Big Show would be so awesome.
Hell yeah! I mean, yeah. Becky and Charlotte were in the back, kind of talking back and forth. Ric Flair comes out and woos, and that goes right into...
Because she sets up another match with Charlotte behind her back.
For sure.
She's like, did you set up a match? She's like, nah, I didn't. Maybe. And she's like, well, why don't you want to fight me? Because you're scared I'm going to win? He said, nah, I ain't afraid you're going to win. Then put up a shut up.
Yeah.
And then Ric Flair scares the shit out of her.
Yeah, this is ridiculous. Then the match started. Ric Flair versus Becky Lynch versus Charlotte. Ric Flair was hilarious on the outside, I thought. This was, a pretty good back and forth match going. It seems like they're doing a lot of the same stuff they would do in NXT, but it's just not translating for
this match was awesome because there's stakes here.
I feel like this match was good, but I feel like the crowd just didn't really get behind it.
Because San Antonio is a fucking weird place to fucking have your Raw. Super supportive. We talked about this before about San Antonio. San Antonio is a super babyface driven town. Super babyface. Mm-hmm. And at the most part, it's more kids there. It's way more kids there than adults. It's like family night out. So they were sitting on their hands kind of the whole time. It's one of those moments where I'm gonna sound like you and and try to defend what's actually happening. I'm sitting here going, there's stakes here. If she wins this, Paige is nowhere to be found. Sasha Banks is nowhere to be found. They even mentioned it backstage. It's like if she wins, that she's going to be
in line for the title.
In line for the title.
And Rick tries to distract her, just like happened last week. Charlotte tries to do a roll up, but Becky reversed the roll up into a roll up of her own, and she did win. So that's kind of cool, I guess.
And Charlotte she fakes an injury. She's like tries to pull her up and sucker punches her. Mm-hmm. Rick grabs hold her to foot, and then Becky grabs the tights. So yeah. I'm like, wait a minute, Becky, you've been trying your whole thing. The whole joint is like you coming to grips with.
Yeah, I didn't really like that.
Winning
I
legitimately.
I even forgot about that aspect.
Yeah.
I don't know where they're going to go with this feud, but I think maybe they're just giving a little taste of her own medicine, kind of. I don't think Becky's going heel, but
no, she's not going heel. I think she a little salt with the sugar. Mm-hmm. If everyone else notice now, when she faced Charlotte the first time, Rick got involved 2 against 1. When she faced Sasha Banks, it was 3 against 1. It was 2 against 1 again in this. And I think she's come to the idea that, well, if I'm going to be in this situation where it's going to be me against the world, at some point I'm going to have to give a little bit to survive. It's a survival of the fittest, not necessarily the survival of the honorable, because there are a lot of honorable dead motherfuckers. The ones that, win at all costs, those are the ones that are still alive and kicking. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So, she does become number 1 contender, and we have an obvious heel in this, where Charlotte finally goes ballistic and she attacks Becky from the back, beats the shit out of her.
Yeah, full heel. I like this match. Yeah, this is going to be a bunch of good matches. I'm stoked to see it.
And it's about Becky. Becky's getting a push.
Yeah, let's see. Royal Rumble. Vincent is in the back with Sheamus, says that he has the luck of the Irish with him. Or may the luck of the Irish be with you. Kind of alluding to what we already kind of figured out, that Vince is kind of going to not be go call down the middle. He's gonna be a little underhanded.
But he's putting it out there that he's giving him the rules. No this, no eye gouging, no low blows, no weapons.
But you can hint that they're being a little sarcastic. And then we go into a Ryback versus the Big Show.
Why? Do we even want to talk about this?
Well, the big thing here was not the match itself, but Big Show announced that he was in the Rumble last week. Ryback announces this week, and then the Wyatt family get around the ring.
Yes, okay.
Yeah, the Wyatt family get around the ring, and then they announced that they were going to be in the Rumble, all four of them.
Yeah.
And they attack Ryback, and then they kind of gang around the Big Show. We see a Strowman Big Show stare down. And then it kind of goes away. They kind of jump.
This is bullshit, though.
But then they do the new thing. It's like Four Horsemen, but it's put down. It's real evil.
How about this, dude?
You thought this was bullshit.
Well, because here's the thing. One of the things I talked about last week was the fact that Big Show has heel heat that like no other right now. The Please Retire, whatever, you could call it what you want. It's still like heel heat unmatched. Like that car passing by.
Yeah, unmatched.
Heel heat unmatched because it's like, we have a definitive enemy that we're all going to collectively boo. So now you got the fucking Wyatts coming out, right? And basically turning Big Show, I mean...
I don't know about that. I just think that there's a stare down of the two big guys.
No, but the beatdown. It's like a beatdown. You feel pity for the fact it was 4 against 1. Beating down one guy, regardless of who it is. So I'm thinking, oh, man, so you're going to actually want to see the Big Show get redemption on the Wyatts. You see what I'm saying? So if there's a moment where, because they're going to have someone clear out a lot of the participants for blah, because you got to fit the blah. Big Show's going to be that guy that does a lot of heavy lifting.
You don't think it's going to be like maybe someone else? We'll get there, but
he's coming in late. There's going to have to be a first 15 to 20 of heavy lifting.
Sure.
And I feel like the Big Show's going to be that guy.
I think Big Show versus Strowman's. I can definitely see that being like a fast lane match.
Yeah, they eliminate one another.
Yeah, sure. And then we go into League of Nations. Del Rio and Rusev versus the Usos.
Great match.
Yeah, this is good.
This is so good.
The pinnacle of this match was like Del Rio tries to do his big like Tree of Woe type maneuver, double stomp from the corner. It gets broken up, and then through the Usos getting distracted from beating up Rusev, he gets put into it, and
while Jay tries to do a suicide dive that meets a wicked super kick by Rusev.
Yeah, this was sick.
These 4 guys worked really well together. I think the Usos that I've seen in a while, one of their best performances. Even though they went down in flames. A lot of cohesiveness. You could tell that they were whatever kinks that they had because of injury and sort of working together again as a team. It all been worked out, and this was a great performance by them. So even though they went down in flames, I still feel like, all right, it's time for them to ascend going into WrestleMania, into the SummerSlam.
You think so?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
They're going to get those belts back.
And then we had, I want to say, the craziest moment of the night, Ziggler versus Heath Slater. And Heath Slater comes out with Bo Dallas, Curtis Axel, and Adam Rose. And then it was an all right match. The announcers say, like, Ziggler's the benchmark. They kind of keep putting this over and over until Heath Slater rolls up Dolph Ziggler, and Heath Slater beats the former world champion Dolph Ziggler.
With a little help from his friends.
Yeah, sure. But I would never thought I would say that. This is a guy.
I know.
This is a guy who couldn't even get to the U.S. title challenge.
This motherfucker can't get past catering.
Yeah, and now here he is leading his second faction. First was a 3-man band. Now I guess they're called the Social Outcasts. They cut in a hilarious promo where
Axel.
Yeah,
they unleashed the chains.
Yeah.
They unleashed the chains.
It was nuts, man.
I laughed so hard because who else says something?
Yeah, Believe says it doesn't matter how many. It's the measure of the man is not how many times they get knocked down. It's how many times they get back up. Which I thought that's a legitimate point for this faction. I felt like that was the only good.
What does Rose say?
He said something about the beginning. I forget. He kind of got. I think Rose definitely got overshadowed in this.
But Axel goes, "Once I was lost, and now I'm found." They unleashed the chains.
Yeah.
That was the moment of the night to
social,
me.
the social outcast.
The social outcast. And poor Ziggler, man. Like, what's happening, dude? He just renewed his contract. Whatever, seriously, whoever serial, between him and the Ascension, even before the injury, like, whoever fucking serial they pissed in, man, like, dude, he just resigned, you know?
Yeah.
And now I think it's heat from, like, going after Nikki Bella. Like, it's even in the Total Divas show. Him going after Nikki Bella.
Oh, he tried to pick up Nikki?
Yeah, because they used to be involved before Cena was involved.
Oh, I don't know. I'm not getting...
I know, but like, no, it's. I think there's real heat to what's going on with Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah, why wouldn't? Yeah, I mean, I would be pissed if I was Cena. But I don't, whatever. The New Day in the back, scaring a bunch of people with gongs and horns.
And they brought back, hey, we want the New Day.
And then Renee and Vince in the back, and Vince kind of just got a little promo. I mean, they're just kind of slowly building to Vince coming out, which is a great way to build for the main event. And I absolutely love the main event. But before we get there, we get to another great match. The New Day, when they come out and cut a promo, and they want to do this countdown, and they count down, and then it turns into like the Jericho countdown, and then Jericho comes out, a la when he first came out. When he first came out with The Rock talking in '98, and there was even like
break the walls down, break down the walls. Yes.
You thought this was good.
I love Jericho.
I like this. This was like a callback to when he first came out in the WWE, which I thought was really cool.
The low ratings.
Yeah, saying all these things like that.
I'm here to save the day.
And he says he's going to be, along with Ryback, the Wyatts, the Big Show, he's going to be in the Rumble. Y2J.
Tutti Fruity Booty.
Yes.
And, by the way, I'm sick of the New Day. I'm sick of it. That fucking promo they cut about Mike Tyson falling off that little roller hovercraft fell as hard on his ass as Mike Tyson did off that fucking hoverboard. Do something about this, guys. This is not looking good. They are horrible, the New Day. You're horrible. It wasn't the best place to do it in either, San Antonio. Again, and again, like the social outcast, bad place to do it in San Antonio. They could have done this. They could have done this anywhere else. They could have waited till they went to, like, I don't know, if they go to Denver or something. Like, somewhere where there's more marks. Like Philly, motherfucker, there was Brooklyn. That place would have went nuts, For shits and giggles part of it anyway.
Yeah, and the New Day was going to face Kalisto and the Dudleys, and I really like this team. The Dudleys doing a lot of like Spike Dudley spots with Kalisto and everything.
It was great.
Mm-hmm.
Long match, bodies everywhere, just crazy chaos, and then all the baby faces, the Dudleys and Kalisto, they all get their like hot tags. They all go in there, kick ass, take names, until Kalisto had to die.
Oh yeah, with the big apron dive, Biggie destroys him.
He had to die. R.I.P. Kalisto. I thought, man, I saw a lot of promise in you.
Yeah, well, they took out Sin Cara last week. I guess Big E's looking to take out Kalisto this week.
You had to die. That was. I felt bad.
I thought it was hilarious how Big E Xavier Woods just gets chased to the back by Bubba Ray Dudley. I thought that was a really funny spot. Did you see that?
What's that?
Xavier Woods just takes off to the back, full sprint, and Bubba Ray chases
after
him.
Yeah.
I thought that was hilarious. And then Big E and Kofi hit the big double team maneuver.
The big end.
Yeah,
I like to call.
New Day wins. And then that's when they announced that the WWE Network will be available in Japan. There you go. Yeah, main event time: Sheamus versus Reigns.
This is all about Vince.
Yeah, with Vince McMahon
awesome performance
as the referee. This felt
awesome performance by Vince McMahon. You are out of touch, old fuck, but you still know how to perform. Damn it, you still know how to work it. He still has it. Yeah. This performance as a referee was fantastic. This was like Attitude Era type shit.
I was just gonna say that. Yeah, I feel like this, it reminded me of when like Dude Love first came out to help out Austin. Like it was like a show long thing that they're slowly building, but it's not very obvious what they're doing. And then it gets more and more obvious, and then Vince comes out like oiled up with the Vince ref shirt that we've all known and love. He's 70, definitely still juicing. But this was a great match. More recently, it was kind of like the Eva Marie match. Like a lot of bells and whistles really helped this match going. Vince McMahon turns his back to let Sheamus use his steps.
He's like, yeah, look over there. There's something over there. He's like, oh, okay, I'll look.
Yeah. Counts real fast whenever Sheamus wants to go for the pin, but then when it's time for Roman Reigns to get the pin, he counts real slow. And two men really helped this out. I feel like Saxton on commentary was like, what? He's like the first time he's ever seen a shitty ref in wrestling history. Like Saxton is just blown away, and Roman's pissed.
The fix is in!
Yeah, it's hilarious, man. And then, so then eventually it spills out to Sheamus.
Wait. First, the slow count for Roman. And then he goes again, and there's something in his eye.
Oh yeah, that was
that was hilarious. He just flat out refuses to count. Like the progression of him just refusing to give him the win is just like you see it. Like what the fuck?
And through all that, I'm gonna give it to Roman Reigns. We kind of shit on him a lot in this show, but I'm
still gonna shit on him.
He did a real smooth. It was like an over the top rope DDT maneuver to set up for what he calls the drive by, the big drop kick where he stays on the apron. I thought that was a pretty good spot. You gotta give credit where credit's due.
You get the Superman punch to Vince.
Yeah, he knocks out Vince.
And he hits the spear. Then he just goes ape shit.
Yeah, he spears Sheamus, and then he goes for the pin. The whole crowd counts to 3. But come on, dude, you have to have known that you just knocked out the ref. I mean, what did you think? Why did you even... What the fuck?
I was almost thinking he was going to go Stone Cold Dude Love and just count himself.
Oh, he count himself. Yeah, that would have been
good. But he just goes ballistic on Sheamus. And I can't get into this Bully Reigns character. Like, there has to be something about this guy to where he's compassionate or something. Like, that's one of his biggest flaws, compassion. Where it's like, well, if this doesn't go my way, I'm just gonna beat up everybody.
Well, he's like a hothead. I mean, like, you can't, like,
I'm gonna scare the shit out of Stephanie McMahon, a woman. You know, I'm going to fucking beat the hell out of a 70-year-old guy. And then when a guy is down, okay, because I'm not getting my way right now, I'm just going to beat him to a bloody pulp until someone shows up.
Yeah, Steph comes out real big and bad and, like, scurries away after she gets in the ring. I mean, why wouldn't you? Roman Reigns there. And, they tease another Superman.
Oh no, she steps on the rope. She climbs in, steps on the rope. She's like, "You son of a bitch!" And then he takes fucking Vince and throws him on the rope.
This is a great spot. Flipping her around.
Yes, sending her into the ring. Like, Jesus Christ, Roman Reigns, have you flipped your shit? You are an asshole. You're not a good guy. You're evil. You know, like, there's no compassion whatsoever. I cannot root for this shit, man. I can't do it. You know, especially if it's not necessarily he's threatened. You know, he's not in like nor Vince, nor is Stephanie a threat to him. You know, not really. They're just his bosses.
Well, not a physical threat.
They're evil bosses, but like they would have just fired you, bro. Yeah. You know, if they were that bad, we're that kind of a beatdown and assault. You fucking jackass.
He teases another spear to Sheamus, and then Vince gets up again. But then Scott Armstrong slides in.
After 2 bro kicks.
Yeah, he slides in 1, 2. Then was it Vince that pulled him out?
No, well, it was Vince that after the 2 bro kicks, Vince was too beat up to make the count.
Yeah,
and then Scott Armstrong came in.
He's been under the heels of the hands of the authority.
Yeah, so Vince calls out Scott Armstrong. Superman punch to Sheamus and Armstrong.
Yeah.
Right?
Second ref, he's not.
And then John Cone shows up. Because we haven't seen Armstrong. When the last time we seen Armstrong?
Well, I mean, he refs, but
no, he's been off TV since that one screw job. They talked in the back, and he gave him paid leave. Triple H gave him paid leave, and I can't remember what feud that was, or because
I remember. Yeah, Scott Armstrong was kind of seen as an authority ref.
And he came back for another spot. I think, did he show up for the Sting Triple H match?
I think
he did show up for that too, because he's like the crooked rep. Whenever he's coming, he's in the pocket of the authority. And then we haven't seen him since that moment. He catches a fucking Superman punch for his worries.
Yeah.
And then Jack Cone, the young
The young ballsy ref.
yeah, you know, they
Comes
got
out.
Integrity, Mr. Integrity.
Yeah, counts to 1, 2, 3.
After
Roman
a
Reigns
spear.
wins.
Oh, after the Superman punch.
Mm-hmm.
And Cone gets jacked by Vince.
Yeah.
And then at the very end, do you want to finish that off?
Oh, at the very end, Vince, all pissed that Roman won, says that the world title will be defended in the Royal Rumble match itself. They say it's unprecedented, but it did actually happen in 1992 when Ric Flair won the vacant title. But this is the first time that someone's actually held the title and that it will be defended in the Royal Rumble.
It just means he's going to win. Even this match itself.
I think, yeah, it does. It definitely telegraphs that he's going to win, but I think they need to do that. They need to keep hitting people over the head with "this is the new Cena," because as shitty as it is, they need to build this new star. They can't do it. They have to go balls. They have to go balls deep with this guy. They got to go Austin level heat with this guy, which is what they're doing.
It is working.
Yeah,
I mean, to a certain extent.
I wouldn't have picked him.
Dude.
I wouldn't have picked him, but you have to see that it is working. And I like Raw now better that they've changed his direction. And if he happens to be the guy that is making them change, then I mean,
someone cut a heel comment on my Roman the cash in, the Sheamus.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was just like some guy. It was like a long name. It was like Shabazz Muhammad something. And he's just like, if you don't like Roman Reigns, then get the fuck out. Too stupid, motherfucker. Like,
Damn.
yeah. And I'm
Wow.
like, I like the comment. I was like, sweet.
Yeah.
Some feedback. Hey, shout out to Music Destination. He's been checking out and leaving comments
Hell
on
yeah.
things. So Music Destination, I'm gonna return and talk to you on the comments. And at the same time too, like I would like to sort of get you for a Peter Talks Wrestling with. I haven't done one in a while, but like at some point we're going to need to get up if you're listening or watching right now.
Nice.
But what's your so you don't mind this?
I mean, I've never really liked like a top guy. Like the style of wrestling I like is not like I mean, I like main event in the WWE. I'm not saying that, but I mean, other than like Daniel Bryan and like Eddie Guerrero, like my favorite guy has never been like the top guy in WWE.
Mm-hmm.
Like Cena, Batista, Triple H. I guess that's really been it. Like Randy Orton, I guess I liked him for a little bit.
Stone Cold The Rock?
But he got stale.
You loved Hogan. You loved Hogan, right?
No, well, when I was a little kid, Hogan was like NWO, but I mean, I cheered for Ric Flair when Hogan was in WCW.
So you've never been a top guy ever.
I'm not like, I mean, no, I mean, I like Punk, I like Sting, but there's just
That's a
something.
top guy.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I've liked those. Like I mean, I'm not saying that there's not examples where I did, but just I like wrestling for the whole show. So if the top guy's not my favorite, fuck it. Like Vince is amazing. So
But don't you think it's a lack of trust? Now, the idea of the Royal Rumble is that it's someone's time to sort of get that not necessarily get their comeuppance, but like they get their moment to shine. It's like, okay, the legacy is that whoever wins the Royal Rumble faces whoever holds the title in the main event of WrestleMania.
well,
They're saying no one is going. There's no assent to anyone to face someone new, someone fresh to win not only a 30-man battle royal. Like no one's gonna win this.
Yeah.
No one knew. We don't trust anybody, and so Roman wins just like this match. I was like, I know he's gonna win, but how is he gonna win? That's the thing.
He might not win though. There's several. I've heard just listening to a bunch of people. I mean, you have. You can do something where Triple H isn't in the match but throws Reigns out. You can do something where Triple H is in the match and then gets help from people to eliminate Reigns, and then you have Triple H with the title, and then Roman gets his rematch. You could have Brock come in and eliminate him, and then you have the rematch from last year's WrestleMania that without Rollins, you have Brock versus Roman.
Brock is not in this Royal Rumble, guys.
He's coming. Well, he's going to be on the show next week, and that's his last date announced until Rumble. So they're going to do.
I had him winning it.
I think they're going to do something. I still think that it's not a lock that Roman's going to win. I think it's going to be it's a lock that they're going to do something. Roman is going to be the catalyst. He's going to be what happens. I think. I think they're going to set up a match at Mania, but somehow do it to where maybe Roman gets screwed, or maybe Vince gets so pissed that they can't beat Roman that they send Brock after him. or something like
But
that.
even on top of that, though, let's just say, all the clicks and whistles and all this, I guess, conspiracy or fantasy booking.
Mm-hmm.
It's still
It's still the Roman Reigns show.
It's still and it's still the usual suspects. There's nobody to surprise or to ascend, or there's no one person to get behind. You're watching more of the storyline of how this guy's going to defend his title amongst 30 men versus, well, who's going to win this? Who's going to ascend to get this opportunity to face whoever is the championship in the main event of WrestleMania? And I feel like they're not only sacrificing their top heels to Roman Reigns, they're sacrificing the entire roster to Roman Reigns. That it's 30-1 odds. 30, 31, 32, 33. Vince, Stephanie, and Triple H.
Sure.
So on top of the 30 men already in the Battle Royal.
But they did
you
this.
got 3. And I go, well, no, hear me out. 33-1 odds of him getting this belt. Everyone, from all the guys, from Bray Wyatt to Dolph Ziggler to, because obviously Ambrose is going to be in it. He's going to get his Intercontinental match, but he's going to be in the Royal Rumble. Sure. Everyone, man. Everyone. Who else is pretty hot right now? Who's hot?
Owens, you got the New Day. There's gonna be people
and
in
it. Axel, Curtis Axel.
He's never lost. He's still in from last year.
He's still in it from last year. But once you think about it, all the up and comers, Kalisto's gonna be in it. You're gonna sacrifice all these guys. All of them.
Yeah, well, you have one guy,
Jericho.
But they've done this tons of times in the Rumble before. You had it pretty much in '92. It was Ric Flair's show. '95, '96, Shawn Michaels. It was the Shawn Michaels show back to back. '96, '97, Austin. 97, 98, Austin.
98, 99.
No, 99. Vince won. But it was still pretty much the Austin show. Vince won because he beat Austin. Yeah. So when you have the guy, you got to just go all hands on deck.
Austin was loved.
And with the depleted roster, you also have that. So you have the backstory, the story that we're all reading about, the rumors, the depleted roster.
Even the fucking NXT guys that'll possibly be in the Royal Rumble, they're all gonna fall to Roman Reigns. Whether it's Samoa Joe, whether it's Finn Balor, whether it's Baron Corbin, they're all gonna fucking.
It's gonna be AJ Styles is coming out of the Rumble. It's gonna happen.
Who? It's too soon to even speculate. How long we got till the fucking Royal Rumble?
It's always the week before the Super Bowl. So 2
weeks away?
No, the week before the Super Bowl. So you got the wild card weekend this weekend, then you got the first round, then you got the second round.
3 weeks.
Yeah, 3 weeks away. So two Raws.
Because I don't even want to go into predictions who's going to show up the special guest? We're too soon right now. I'm just I feel like there's a double-edged sword. Well, yes, this is a very interesting thing that's going to happen. Amazingly interesting. Mm-hmm. But we watched the show and what they're doing with Roman Reigns. I'll go he's going to win. 97% of me say he's going to win. The 3% of me says that there's going to be some sort of screwy finish.
Yeah, I think that 3% is what they're going to rely on. I think whether you want Roman to win or whether you don't want Roman to win, you have an opinion about it.
That's the thing. Do you want Roman to win or do you not want Roman to win? How about, hey, man, I want Kalisto to win. How about I want to root for this guy to come out? Bubba, Bully Ray's Demon Kane. I'm throwing these names out. Very weak names. But nevertheless, there's got to be somebody there's got to be someone in the cut. A Dolph Ziggler, who's been losing and losing. Jey Uso. Someone who's been having his ass handed to him, for a while. Say a heel, say a Bray Wyatt. How about he gets a little bit of a babyface rub of a heel and him being a jackass, Nexus style CM Punk, kind of a thing. He tried to pull that shit off 2 years ago, right? Where he had Eric Rowan and Luke Harper sort of fend up. Was it last year or year before?
I think it was last year because the year before was the Shield and the Wyatt stare-off. Or was that 3? I don't know, guys.
They did the heavy lifting. I remember them
Rumble.
doing it.
The Rumble's my favorite event of the year.
Yeah, but last year stunk. It really wasn't bad. In the last 2 years, it's almost been well, who's coming out? Boom, boom, boom. Wow. It's dude, where's the stars?
Yeah, but there's a lot of guys that it's gonna be Mania season again. There's a lot of guys, that are just out. that are gonna be coming back. Like I think, like you said, I mean Kane. That's gonna be for an entrance for a pop.
Weak though.
Yeah, but all they need is that pop.
Titus.
That pop. That like
Stardust.
I don't know. I love it. It's the countdown: 10, 9, 8, 7, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then the pop. That's all you need. I mean, we've gotten like gigantic pops for Bubba Ray Dudley before, for Kevin Nash. I mean, I think maybe Enzo is going to show up. I think AJ Styles is going to show up.
That's too soon. That's too soon. We can't talk about that now.
I'm just saying it. But overall, this is a great week of wrestling, man.
That was a good show. I think
Raw was good. It's getting better.
And again, I feel like they're working their ass off to give us a better product. And again, like, if you watch the show, if you watch me, you hear me, I'm just like, ah. And I'm like, yay. Now we got this plot. And I'm like, what? I know. I just feel like they're sacrificing 30 people to put over one guy. And I'm just like, that's not the way. It's not like they destroyed all that star power they had back in those days when it was Stone Cold going over. They didn't.
Yeah, but they did have Stone Cold beat the Alliance, the corporate ministry, which was like everyone from The Undertaker to Ken Shamrock to Gangrel, and then they had Stone Cold be the leader of WCW and just talk down everyone from WCW. They had Cena and Orton one time beat the whole roster. It was Cena and Orton versus the whole roster, and Cena and Orton won. They've done it before. This is the Roman Reigns show. We gotta gear up. From a bone in their nose to the world champion. Look at that.
There was something else I wanted to say. I don't know. Something popped in my head. Was it? Oh yeah. This is from Peter's Raw Recap, and part of this show is something. Again, is the work rate is going to go up. I feel like it's going to go up a little bit more. It's going to be against Vince's will, but last week was a high work rate of a show. This week was a high work rate of a show. If we move forward, the show's going to only get better regardless of storyline. The storyline has to improve, definitely, but the work rate in the ring will always. And the guys that they're signing right now, I feel like everyone's in cahoots with better work in the ring. And that's going to be the meat and potatoes to get over a person like Roman Reigns. Why are we going to watch Roman? Meanwhile, while Roman Reigns is fucking ascending to own all that is the Milky Way, these guys in the background working their asses off. And they're bringing people to the show to have them watch them as much as, say, watch Roman Reigns to ascend to the top. So I'm looking forward to that. I really am. If you're going to give me a good show, a good wrestling show with at least a decent amount of writing behind that high work rate, get your Nevilles involved, get your KOs involved, and it's not like those guys, the social outcasts. It's not like those guys can't work. You give them a good enough storyline.
Curtis Axel's great, actually.
Within the ring, they could tell a story in the ring more than say what they're doing with the fucking League of Jobbers. But my God, Rusev and fucking Del Rio versus the Usos was something. That was something. I mean, man.
Yeah, Del Rio and the Rusev are great.
That was amazing. That was probably the best showing of the League of Nations since they've debuted.
There you go. Well, hell yeah, I'm really excited. I'm really excited for NXT this week. And I'm excited. I mean, we're a few weeks away from Lucha Underground. I think, and then
3 weeks, right?
Yeah, and then you got the Mania build. I think this is a great time to be a wrestling fan. I'm getting really excited. I think we were out of the shitty SummerSlam to Royal Rumble. It always seems to be that time of year where it just is bad. It just is bad writing, and plus we had the injuries this year.
People seeing snowflakes. People seeing Santa Claus.
Yeah, I think it's good. I think
their eyes off the ball. But I think just there's a lull. But again, these last 3 weeks, for me to go from 2 weeks ago, like, man, I want to fucking
it was bad.
Set the shit on fire to like, man, going like, you know what, high five. And it's not like one of those things. Well, I'll just wait for them to fuck it up like they did for the build.
You're being positive.
Well, I don't think I'm being positive. I don't think it's being. I think I see it. I see it at work. I see the gears turning, and we'll keep on turning. And I see them doing it for the best. I mean, with the WrestleMania coming up, they have to fill up 100,000 seats. That's what they call that. They call it motivation.
I mean,
they call that shit motivation. They have a lot of motivation to make sure that fucking At least there's at least 80,000.
Yeah, with 80 you can shoot it and like it'll look good. But yeah, like that would be kind of shitty to watch a Mania where it's like you can see like sections empty and things like that. But I don't think that's gonna happen. I think they're gonna find some way, unless if they even if they have to let people in for free.
Yeah, I'm going. I mean, I still want to go, man.
Hell yeah.
I gotta get my game up. I gotta get my mojo up. Is there anything else?
Not that I know of.
Not you know of.
If you want to talk to me on Twitter at JG Pro Wrestling, listen to me SoundCloud.com/JG Pro Wrestling. I'm on the Legal Man Mark Charles's podcast and radio show, Outside Interference, that comes on AM 1010 in Tampa, Florida, and all around the internet. And then I also do Fast in the World podcast every week. It comes out Thursday morning. It's where we review NXT. We talk about NXT, talk about who's coming in, who's going out. That comes up every Thursday morning. SoundCloud.com/JG Pro Wrestling.
Again, this is NFL free agent season. It's a very exciting time for wrestling at a time where there should be lulls going into WrestleMania, but it's an exciting time. They're doing great. If you want to get in touch with me, talk more about it, PJTW Central and or Ellen Japanese, LINJAPANESE. Be sure to tune in, subscribe, hit the button below, subscribe. We're not pointing to our junk. It may look like it, but make sure you subscribe. If you're on YouTube, hit the button below. And I got stuff coming in. Peter's Raw Recap, New Day podcast returning next week. Peter and Jake talks wrestling. Peter Talks SmackDown that will be moving to USA, debuting on this Thursday on USA.
Oh yeah.
And then Peter's specials, where I'm reviewing NXT takeovers or ROH specials, or if it wasn't like a joint collaboration between the two of us to watch New Japan, I would have reviewed this on my own too. So that's always coming up. And Music Destination, again, if you're listening, checking this out. If you want to talk some wrestling, man, we can do a Peter Talks Wrestling with. So just hit me up, let me know you're interested, and we'll set up a time to record something. SoundCloud, iTunes, Stitcher, Podbean. Do whatever you can on any of those to subscribe and put us in your favorites.
Yeah, do it up.
Leave a comment on any of those fucking mediums. Like, thumbs up, heart, all of that shit. It shows the logarithm that, hey, we're likable. You like us. You really, really like us. And it tells other people who are looking for other means to consume wrestling, conversation, review, observation, and opinion content. And then you have also one of the greatest option you can do when wanting to contribute to the growth of the PJTW enterprise is that you share this motherfucker. Right?
Yeah, share it on Facebook, Twitter. Just share it all over the world.
Share it. Sharing is caring, people.
If you like it, why not let everyone know?
Dude, I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, because this is a labor of love to us. We're not seeing a red dime yet. But at this moment, after a year and a half of doing this and not seeing anything, actually kicking out more money, more time, you could tell that we love doing this regardless if we have 30 people listening or 30,000 people listening. So yes, if you can share it and spread the word that we got something going on here, it'd be highly appreciated. You got any last words?
Free from the chains.
What?
What does he say? Breaking the chains.
They unleashed the chains.
Unleash the chains.
They unleashed the chains. They unleashed the chains. They unleashed the chains. But yeah, watch out for those foreign objects. Faster World Podcast. I'll see you for Peter Talks SmackDown.
Later.